And we're live. So this is Adam, the tent guy, and I am here with Raul from Sorry, man. What is it?
Alianas Party Rental.
Alianas Party Rental, and he has a YouTube channel. I actually seen him before I started my YouTube channel. And this entire thing, I just got home from work today and posted on Instagram, like, who wants to go live tonight? And a few people answered. Lee answered. Lee, who said he was too shy, but we'll get Lee on. And you answered. So I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And I sent you the link and you jumped on.
Got to conquer my fears. I don't like being live, but I got to give it a try.
All right. Well, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and what your business does?
So I am Raul, and then I'm the owner of Alianas Party Rentals. I'm based out of San Diego. We do anything from kids party rentals to weddings now. But when I started, we did mainly kids party rentals. So yeah, bouncy houses, water slides. For weddings, we do anything from the table chair rentals and linens, glassware, flatware, stuff like that.
Right. And how did you get started in this?
So that one is that question hard to answer. It's not really a good answer, but I always like to say the truth. It was just something I started, on the side to earn extra income with the bouncy houses, right. And then it slowly has grown to what it is now.
Well, I think that's what most people do. Like, I started mine on the side. We got Randy Hamilton in here. He started on the side. Everyone kind of starts on the side. No one just jumps into bounce houses or anything just like straight off the bat and is making $1 million. But so you first started with bounce houses.
Yeah, bouncy houses. I started with 2 bouncy houses, 10 tables, and 70 chairs my first year in 2013.
Right. And then from there, people were requesting more stuff and you were like, well, I should get this and that. Oh, I lost you. Your audio's gone, man.
Back?
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah, I'm on the Wi-Fi. I'm not on hardwire, so it might be.
Okay.
Let me see if I could get disconnect my phone from Wi-Fi too. So.
Right.
And
so you were doing bouncy houses, and then people started calling for more stuff. So you decided just to get more stuff.
Yeah. So it went from bouncy houses. Then from there, I got a request for jumpers with slides. Started buying those. And then from there, we went on to people started requesting different style of tables and chairs.
Right.
So we started adding belly. So one of the main ones was like belly bar tables. Or actually, a good topic is like I did a lot of bouncy house rentals, and I'd go to the customer's house, deliver the bounce house, and I'd show up, and they'd already have tables and chairs from another company. And they said, and I told them, hey, I rent tables and chairs too. They're like, oh, we didn't know. We thought you guys did bouncy houses. So the original name when I started was Alianas Jumpers.
Right.
Then I changed it to Alianas Party Rentals. And once I changed it to that, then that's where people started asking, for different styles of tables and chairs.
Right. There's a lot in a name. I got a friend who had a bounce house company. He called it JV Bouncing Buddies. So he'd just get phone calls for bounce houses, same as you, but he had tables and chairs. So a little bit in the name, more generic party rental or whatever, then people know that there's more than just bounce houses. So I seen one of your videos. You got Shivari chairs. So you're like full scale doing weddings now.
I try to. So I try to see what I can get. I don't do a lot of weddings, but a lot of the weddings we do are more like low budget weddings. So, I still rent out my Shivari chairs, not as much as I would like to.
Right.
But the most popular chair would be the white resin. So more like backyard weddings is what we do. But the Shivari chairs go out when we actually go to an actual venue and like an indoor type of wedding.
Right. So with your YouTube channel, how did that start?
So my first video, I think it says 3 years ago. And I was going to start posting just me setting up inflatables and stuff like that. I didn't really know a lot about YouTube, but I just thought it was something cool. I only posted 1 or 2 videos, then right. I completely stopped. And then I actually rented to some YouTubers, 3 different YouTubers. And that's what made me kind of start again about a year ago, because I saw how many views they get, and I saw like their homes and all the money they were making through YouTube. So I gave it a try, but then I'd be way too busy to try to post videos, and so I'm getting back on it now.
Right. Yeah, it's cool. We're in a niche market, so we're never gonna. I don't think we're ever gonna be like tons of subscribers, but
yeah,
it's still cool. So you said you got in this business on the side. Like, what brought you to bounce houses as a side hustle? Like, you know, instead of doing like lawn care or house cleaning or, you know, Uber driving or I don't know, any other sort of thing that's easily started on the side.
So what I was doing before bouncy houses was lawn care, like landscape maintenance.
Right.
So that was my first business when I was 19, 20. I was doing put ads on Craigslist. I was doing gardening, and then from there, about a year in, I wanted to start, you know, other options, you know, making extra money. So I went out. I'd go on online all the time, just searching for ideas. You know, I'd search up businesses you could start with $1,000, with $5,000. So the bouncy houses was the one that was popping up a lot. So eventually, the original plan was I was just going to buy tables and chairs. That was the original plan because I didn't have enough money to buy bouncy houses. So I went out to LA. I purchased the tables and chairs, and luckily there was a manufacturer just like across the street for bouncy houses. I went to go visit him. We started talking, and I placed my order for the bouncy houses. So
that's cool. So you have people to go buy stuff from that are like really close to you?
It's 2 hours away.
Okay. Well, I mean, still that's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. So you got your bounce house business going. Like, how do you market? Like, how do you make a customer aware that you exist and they can call you?
When I started, it was Craigslist ads. It was a lot of Craigslist ads. I post a couple in the morning, midday, and afternoon. From there, I try to go on Yelp, but of course, when you start, you don't have a budget,
right?
Advertise, so that would get drained. I would feel like when I started, I put about a $200 budget on Yelp for ads, and I feel like I thought competitors would click on the ad because I wouldn't get any customers, and I just be losing my money. So strictly Craigslist. Eventually, I started getting reviews on Yelp, and in my area, I'm not sure if other areas are the same, but Yelp over here is really popular. So it's all based. The main business, most of the business has came from Yelp.
Even today?
Yeah, now it's like they always call me and they tell me I saw your reviews on Yelp. I got about 117 reviews up right now that are 5 stars.
Nice. So did you end up building a website and a Facebook? And obviously I see your Instagram.
Yeah, so I think about 6 months in, I got my first website. It's really simple, just a three tabs: the homepage, the products, and I think it was an FAQ page. I paid about $400 for that when I started. Really simple website, but it worked.
Cool. And so who is your general customer? Why don't we say where you are? I don't think we said. Where are you based out of?
In San Diego, California.
San Diego. Okay. And out there, who is your general customer?
General customer. More specific, what is that? What do you mean
like, who's renting from you? Like, where are you going most weeks, most days of the week? Where are you dropping off? You dropping off at banquet halls or someone's backyard, or?
Yeah, mainly backyard parties. That's most of it. When we get weddings, they're weddings at the beach. So we're really close to the beach. Weddings at the beach, but mainly, yeah, backyard parties and backyard weddings.
Right. Now, out there, I wonder, like, is there a big market for tents in people's backyards because it's like nicer weather?
A lot. I do have some tents, not the commercial ones like you carry. I would say it's like a medium duty tent. Right. The biggest one I carry is 20 by 40. So this past weekend, it was raining a lot, so I had 4 tents go out last minute. So definitely when it's raining, those will go out a lot. In the summer, they'll go out too. People want shade. So I want to say, yeah, they rent out all year long for the tents.
So that's kind of what I thought. It was mostly in the summer for shade. And like you said, last minute, there's some rain that people didn't think was going to be happening.
Yeah.
So you you've gotten away with not having to invest tons of money into tents, unlike us up, in the East Coast and whatever. So you can get away with a bounce house and tables and chairs outside, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I think that's what's helped me a lot is having everything from bouncy houses to pretty much covering a lot of different items that you could rent. So that keeps me busy all year long.
Right. We got a question from Lee. What is medium duty tents? Like pole tents or carports?
They're pole tents. I get them from PTM Inc. So they call them commercial, but compared to what you guys carry, they're not really commercial tents.
Right. But they work for shade out in California.
Yeah. And they're very sturdy, but again, they don't compare to like what you guys carry from like what are they called, those big companies like
Eureka, Aztec.
Yeah, because I've looked into purchasing those, but comparing the price, so I could get like a 20 by 40 for under close to $1,000.
Right.
And I'm sure those commercial tents go like 2,000 or 3,000, maybe for something like that.
Is it what's the material? Is it a vinyl material or is it like a PVC tarp?
It's just a balanced top. So I just added some heavy duty tops for my 20 by 20s because they look a lot nicer.
Right.
So the fire resistant that are fire marshal approved to be set up at like parks.
Okay.
But there are big companies that carry the tents that you do.
Right. How's your competition out there?
Competition when I started, it's tough on Craigslist because that's where all the smaller companies are. They're trying to outbid each other. So when I started, for example, with the bouncy houses, the big companies were renting a regular bounce house for $100. On Craigslist, it'd be anywhere from $65 to $75. So I started there at the lower price point, trying to compete with them. As time went by, let me see, I was able to raise my price and competition. I've always been pretty busy, so we all have competitors, but I feel like there's a lot of business for everybody. So
right, so you're not concerned day to day like, oh, this guy just popped up, I got to compete with him now.
No, it just motivates me. I got to work harder.
Right. Yeah. When I was beginning, I was always worried about the competition, and it was making me like sick, and always thinking about them and checking their prices. But eventually, I just got over it and realized in my area, there's not enough tents to go around, so I'll always have business.
Yeah. So a big bounce house company when I started, and I had barely started. So and then I went on his website. I got the FAQs, because I was building my website. So I went through his FAQs to use them for bouncy houses. They're pretty much all the same questions and answers.
Right.
I thought I was unknown, and that big company saw that I copied and pasted their FAQs on my website, called me and threatened me that he's going to sue me. And so I got rid of that real quick. But so that guy has always been on top of his game, being on the lookout, who's coming out.
Right. He's worried. Do you have employees?
Yeah. So just this year, I put them both on payroll. I've had employees since I started, but just paying them cash. But right now that I've been making a lot more money, I definitely got to put them on payroll now to be able to, deduct it from the income.
Right. How many employees have you got?
Two full time, and then one guy part time.
And are you able to send them out on their own?
Yeah. So I have one guy that's my driver. He has a route every weekend. He's been helping me out for, I think, 3 years. So he's independent. I give him his orders. He goes out when I need to send him with somebody else. I send him with the helper, and then my other guy is I'm the driver on the other route with my helper. So two trucks out every weekend.
Oh, cool. And then where are you storing all this? Have you rented a warehouse or?
When I started everything from home. So started storing everything at my house till I have a back patio. I have a picture of it. So I wish I had more pictures of when I started to where now, but started at home, storing everything at home. From there, I moved to a storage because starting to get harder with the rain. My stuff would start getting wet. I would put tents over, so I moved to a storage. From there, it got really expensive, and then an opportunity came up. My uncle has a big lot, so I rent that lot from him now. It's it's pretty private, and I got to tents up right now, just storing everything there. Been
Right.
working on the past year.
Cool. Oh, we got a question. Do you do the quotes yourself?
Like, do I quote customers myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do
And
and
then,
all my pricing now, I have it up like with the big companies, what they're charging.
right. And then of kind of goes in line with this. Do you use a rental system? Like
Yeah, I inflatable office. I'm still using that. I've been using that for 4 years, and I think a lot of my success is also through that because a lot of customers like that. The contract.
so I don't have much experience with inflatable office or their rental side. I think it's called event office or something. But that ties into your website too, right?
Yeah, so I just got a website built from them a year ago, but the original website wasn't through them. So I got two websites right now, one through them and then one through another guy that manages that. But yeah, now that one's a lot easier. It's a little bit more cleaner look, and that one's more leaning towards like weddings. One of
Oh,
them is
okay.
houses, and the other one, more for like weddings and stuff.
Right. So with inflatable office though, can people make orders just right on your website and never even have to talk to you?
Yeah. So what's nice about it is, someone will put an order, they'll get a quote, and then they'll hit book now. When I see that they hit book now, I'm able to just generate a contract, and then I email it to them. They book it. Sometimes they pay for it. And like I've heard you say before, sometimes you don't even talk to the customer until you see them on the delivery.
Right.
So yeah, like that. But what gets hard is the delivery fees. So with bouncy houses, I charge less than if you were to get just table and chair rentals.
Right. So now say someone didn't make an order through inflatable office, they made it through over the phone or through email, then you have to remember to go into inflatable office and like change that so that it's not shown available.
Yeah, yeah. So that's always tough when I'm out on the road because I do everything myself, all the calls, plugging everything into the system. So what helps out a lot now, let's say I'm at a delivery, I'll take the call if I can. If not, I'll call them back. So if I end up taking the call, I'll put everything in through my phone because you could go on your cell phone and just put all the
Right.
information.
Have you had any of those mishaps where it's out but someone through the website ordered it and now it's like, oh boy.
So no, I think what's happened is somebody would call me. Instead of plugging it straight into the system, I just put it on my notes. I never went back to plug it into my system. The day of the event came, the customer calls me like 30 minutes before their party asking where their bouncy house is. And I'm like, man, like, why didn't they call me in the morning, make sure to confirm? Like, I never even called them the day prior. I never sent them a contract. They called me that day. And luckily, I was able to get it there right as guests are arriving. And for that order, that was so I've always been scared of getting bad reviews. So I told her, you know what? I told her the truth. I forgot to plug it in. I apologize. And I gave her that bouncy house for free.
Right. So you didn't get a bad review.
No bad review.
Good. Have you ever had a sub rent, like a bounce house from someone else to cover yourself for anything else?
Yeah, I did that once, and I never did that again. That I was really embarrassed of the bouncy house. So I picked it up from. It was actually almost a neighbor. He lives another street above me, and I overbooked the bouncy house, so I really needed another one. I picked it up from him. Went to go deliver it. All the guests were there. Already there, and it was so dirty inside. It was really old bounce house. Like, I was really embarrassed.
Right.
With that. So that was the last time I did that.
Any bad review off that one?
No bad review. I was surprised.
So I'm not that well versed in the bounce house business. I am considering starting one with a friend, and he would basically run it. I would just be the money guy. I would never do it. So like, what are the biggest issues with like running a bounce house business? I know you do more, but we'll talk about bounce houses for now.
Issues with bouncy houses, I would say just maybe kids getting injured.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I'm not sure if I've been lucky or what it's been, but I've only had one incident where a kid got hurt. The customer told me that the kid was playing a way he wasn't supposed to. He was climbing through the outside of it, and he fell onto concrete and broke his arm.
Mm.
They told me they took him to the hospital, and they didn't ask anything from me, so I was clear. But that was the only one incident. But I'd say injuries are.
Yeah, it's scary, man. The good thing they didn't try coming after you, which I think would be stupid, but people will.
Yeah, they admitted that their kid was doing something he wasn't supposed to, but
Right.
some cases where the parents gonna want to blame the company.
Yeah. How often do you clean them?
Every rental.
So do you clean it right on site, or you bring it back, put it back up, and then clean it?
The last year, I stopped cleaning them at my warehouse or where I store them, unless I have to. I went to go. Let's say I went to go pick it up, and it was really dirty, and so I'll clean it before delivering it. But now we clean them on delivery.
Okay.
So we'll either vacuum them and then wipe them down and sanitize them.
Right. Cool. So what do you do with your profits? Do you reinvest it? Obviously do, because you're growing, you've got trucks, you've got Shivari chairs, but you mostly reinvest your profits?
Yeah. So when I started, it was a $3,000 investment, 2 bouncy houses, the tables and the chairs. That was the original investment. And then from there, just everything I've gotten from it for the first 2 years, everything went back in because I had my full-time job with the landscape. So all that extra income, I was able to just put it all back in. Once I made it to my full-time, the only money I don't invest back in is what I'm using, to pay my bills for family activities and
right.
stuff.
Randy wants to know how many trucks you're running, or trucks and trailers. And if you're doing trailers, what are the sizes?
So a year ago, I was running 3 trucks. I had an F-150 with a trailer. I think it was 5x10. And then a 10-foot box truck and a 12-foot box truck. I just sold my trailer and truck a few days ago. It hasn't been used for a while, so I decided to get rid of it. Right now, I'm just using those two box trucks.
Nice. And this is a big thing because you got to repair these whenever they get damaged. Do you do your own repairs, or do you send them out?
So I just did a video on this one, kind of like a vlog type of video. So I show where I go and get them repaired. So I have to drive to LA, 2 hours away, and take them to a company that charges a pretty decent amount. They only charge me about $30, $40 to fix simple repairs on the bounce.
Right, but it's good work though.
Yeah, everything he's fixed has held up for now. And he was actually the first manufacturer that I went to, but he's a really small company. So
Right.
if I were to take it to a big manufacturer, then repairs are going to cost a lot more.
Right. This one is for both of us, so I'll answer first. Going back, would you guys do this all over again, or get into a different industry? I originally wanted to get into doing bars, but now that I'm 37 and looking at all the young people there, I'm glad I didn't get into bars. I would do this all over again. The only thing different I would do is I would have jumped into weddings a lot sooner. So would you do this all over again?
Yeah, I do it all over again. I'd get into table and chair rentals a lot sooner than I did. I did a big mistake and was just holding off on that. So yeah, definitely do the same thing. I did my original plan was to get my contractor's license for the landscape and do commercial landscape maintenance. So that was my original plan before this grew to my full time.
Awesome. Gorth Balian, you guys know who Gorth Balian is, right? Thank you. This is my first time ever getting one of these super chat. So thanks, man. He's only got 10 minutes.
For me, $10.
Yeah, no, that's to me. You gotta do your own live things and you get super chats. But I've never gotten a super chat. So thanks, Gorth Balian. So it's kind of weird. You got a lot of subscribers now. You're at 1,300, right?
So yeah, what helped me was the YouTubers that's why I have a lot of followers on Instagram too, from the YouTubers. So they all have 3 million on. I'll name the YouTubers. So one of them is they're more for kids videos, I want to say. But so Tanner Fox, FaZe Rug, and the Ace family, they gave me shout outs, and that's what got me a lot of followers on Instagram.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, go check me out. Alianas.party.rentals. Good to see you too. It's always nice watching his videos. Both of your guys' videos.
Yeah, thanks. So where do you get most of your customers? You kind of said that it's a lot from.
Oh yeah, now it's repeat customers. Now it's repeat customers, but at the beginning, Craigslist and Yelp. From there, now I advertise on both Yelp and Google.
Right. So the repeat customers are also probably referring you as well.
So when I started, a lot of customers were really trying to help me out, telling all their friends, especially I think because I was young. So when I started my bounce house business, I was 20 and a half. And I think, and then a lot of them knew, they'd ask me who Aliana was, and I tell them it was my daughter.
Right.
Like, you're 20, you have a daughter. And then I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, how old do you think she is? And so I had her when I was 16. So right now she's 10 years old.
Wow. So you're 26 right now.
Turned 27 in October. So
wow.
She was
okay.
2 days before my birthday.
Oh, Lily. I don't know if you know this Lily person, but are you single? LOL.
No, I'm married to her.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I figured.
She hopped on to test me. She should have changed her.
Should have changed her name. Yeah, that's funny. We got from Jim McGill saying he watches us. Started his table and chair business and watched all the videos, which is kind of a lot because I go crazy and sometimes load 3 videos a day. But I don't buy your excuse that you're too busy, man, to do YouTube videos. All you gotta do is point a phone at your face and upload it later.
Well, yeah, I've seen like you do them on your cell phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tried, but it's difficult. I was really shy to record yourself holding the camera, and it's really weird. So I don't do it in front of customers at all. I don't do it in front of people. It's just if I'm alone and somebody walks by, then I'll pretend like I'm doing something else.
Right. I don't do it in front of customers because that is unprofessional, but I've been doing it in stores. I've been doing it walking through parking lots. I don't really care anymore. But let's see. Bimbo. You might know Bimbo. I don't know. That's a funny name.
I actually watched this video last night.
Okay. Are you going to focus more on weddings now?
I'm trying to get more weddings because there's more money in weddings, but I'm always going to do the bouncy houses as long as I can. I have a lot of really good customers that only rent bouncy houses, and I see a lot of my customers as friends. I have, well, I call them my friends. I don't know if they consider me their friend, but because they've been renting for me a lot of them have been renting for me since I started. So it's kind of like a relationship now, like with the customers.
Right. I don't know if you've seen, but I had a guy on who does beach weddings, and you said you're near the beach. If you haven't seen that, go watch that because he makes a ton of money being a coordinator for beach weddings, and he owns some rental equipment. But okay, so old school Brian, it's about delivery charges. Considering he doesn't have a location, what do you do for delivery charges, or should he just offer free delivery because he doesn't have a location to pick up?
Should I offer delivery? No, that was a good one. I like when I started bouncy houses, just the flat rate, what the bouncy house cost. I used to drive 30 miles to go deliver a bounce house for $75. At the time, seemed like a lot of money because I would work a whole day and I'd get $80 when the minimum wage was $10 an hour. So I work 8 hours for $80. And then so when I started, I thought it was a good idea, $75 to go deliver a bounce house. But as time went on, delivery fees started going up. Now I charge the city that I'm in flat rate $45 for table and chair rentals. If you have a bounce house in your order, it's anywhere from like $8 to $20 for delivery.
Right. Yeah, delivery. You can't be doing free delivery. I didn't have a location for people to pick stuff up at either. I just said it's $30 delivery for a local delivery.
You'll get customers that get really upset since they can't pick up. I refer them to another company. I'm like, you know what? You can go pick up from this place.
Right.
Customers get mad.
Old school Brian, you got to kind of pick and choose your battles. If someone calls and they get mad that you don't actually have a delivery or a pickup location, do what Raul said, send them somewhere else. But you can't do everything all at once right from the beginning. You gotta pick and choose what you're gonna do.
You got to send them to a big company so they call you right back and they'll pay your delivery fee.
Right, because their price plus their delivery fee is going to be more than yours. We got a question from Pause and Pose Photo Booth. Question on tent draping. Where do you buy the draping and what size do you buy it for the 20 by 30 or 20 by 40? Interesting question. Do you do any tent draping?
Yeah, we do tent draping. I buy it in LA. So you want to type in Fashion District. It's going to take you where they sell all the fabrics. From there, so I actually don't have the size that we cut them in, but it's supposed to be, the height of the tent and then the width and then the height again from the other side. But what we did is we bought the roll, threw it over the whole tent, and then we cut.
Yeah, that is why I suggest for anything, like if you're making your own lighting or drapery in a tent, you set it all up and then you cut it, because like a 20 by 30.
Yeah, and if I have the size that I cut in, I tell you, because I know I've asked a lot of people like, hey, what size do you cut? And they don't want to tell you. But if I knew the size, I would definitely tell them, save them some time.
Right. But even then, not every tent from every manufacturer is going to be a true 20 by 30. It might be 28 feet and 10 inches by 28, or not 28, like 29 feet and 10 inches by 29 feet and 11 inches. So we always cut everything on site and leave a little extra just so that it can always be for that approximate size tent. Insurance. I get this question all the time, and I send people places and then they get turned away because they're not big enough or whatever. So what do you do for insurance for a small rental company?
So you're going to go to who I've used is Liberty United Insurance. I believe they're in LA, but obviously it doesn't matter where you are. You can get a quote from them. It's called Liberty United Insurance. And if you have under 10 units, it should be pretty affordable.
Right.
Now it's gotten really expensive, so now I only pick certain inflatables to insure. The tables and chairs are not cheap to insure.
Right. James, like I say this to people all the time, like insurance does seem kind of scary, but a lot of times you can just call an agent who represents a bunch of insurance companies and they'll do all the work for you and find you the company to put you with and then come back with quotes to you. So you don't actually have to go find the specific company that writes the insurance for your thing. But
and I think that wherever they buy their party rental equipment, they might have some companies they work with as well.
Right. So don't be afraid of insurance or thinking it's going to be hard. Just go you just start with an agent at first, and they represent 30, 40 different companies, and they'll know where to put you and give you all the information. So do you still deliver if they only ask for 2 tables and 16 chairs?
Yes, I do. So, and some people get upset. So 2 tables, I charge $7 per table. So $14, 16 chairs, $16. My flat rate delivery is $45 if they're in my local area. So a lot of people get upset. They're like, how am I going to pay you more for delivery than the actual tables and chairs? And a lot of people do book them though. So I have one this weekend, which is 15 chairs, $15 with the $5 delivery. It's in my area, so it's worth it for that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we still do it all the time too. And the value for the customer is they don't have to find a vehicle that can hold it. They don't have to spend time of their day come getting it and then bring it back on time. So yeah, we get people mad about it as well, but in the end, they usually end up saying yeah because they realize they can't come pick up that many tables in their SUV.
And it adds up. The only reason I wouldn't take 2 tables and 16 chairs is if I can't deliver it myself. Because if you got to send an employee to go deliver, it's gonna cut in there. But if you're delivering on your own, Luis, definitely charge a little bit for delivery if you can, and go deliver.
So do you plan your deliveries out ahead of time so that you're going in a loop, or is it with the bounce house thing, like one party might be at 2 and another's at 5 and you got to jump around town?
So the hard thing with this is going to be bouncy houses. They have to kind of deliver the same day of the event. So bouncy houses are mainly Saturdays and Sundays. That's when they get delivered. Tables and chair rentals, unless they're going to be at a venue or at the beach at a park where they delivered that same day, I delivered the day prior. So I'll deliver table and chair rentals on Friday, bouncy houses Saturday and Sunday, and then a lot of the pickups from those tables and chairs I'll pick up on Sunday. And again, like sometimes we'll have a event at a venue that we have to pick up late night. So we'll deliver we still get delivery Saturdays and Sundays for tables and chairs, but we charge more to deliver that.
Right. So on Friday, when you're doing all your deliveries of tables and chairs, you're trying to do it in a loop so that this guy's paying 45, the guy 2 minutes away is paying 45, and so on.
Yeah. So for like Thanksgiving, I had literally going from one street to the next street. They were all lined up. Where it gets hard sometimes is if, for example, and I didn't realize this till I delivered it. I had a delivery in a city 30 miles away for table and chair rentals. The next day, I went back to that city to deliver a bounce house pretty close to that one. And I was kind of upset. I'm like, man, I should have looked into the route a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, that happens. Have you ever turned down a customer? Like they wanted to rent something from you and you're like, either came up with some janky excuse or just said no right out?
I can't remember of any off the top of my head if I ever have, but I did tell a customer I didn't want to work with them. Sounds rude, but let me see. So this customer wanted linens, and they gave me a call, told me they want to pick them up. I told them I only deliver. She got really upset. So then from there, she's like, I want to meet with you. Can you meet with me? And I told her I can't meet with you because I'm really busy, and which I am. I'm busy all week. I really don't have time to make appointments to go meet a customer somewhere. And she got really upset. She yelled at me like really bad over the phone. I wish I recorded it so it's believable. So then from there, she yelled at me and I kind of got scared. I'm like, oh man, she's going to leave me a bad review. I'm like, you know what? I'll go meet with you. I'm sorry. We'll go meet. So I went to go meet up with her. She yelled at me the second time. And that's when I told her, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to work with you if you're going to be talking to me like that, because I go through enough stress. And then she completely, like, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to do that again. And from that day, she was super nice. Even the day of the event, super nice.
Oh, so you did end up working with her?
Yeah, but she was mean. She yelled at me really bad.
Right. I say no to a lot of things now. Over the years, I've learned when we go to our area's rich houses, you can just get a feel for them. And even though they're going to spend a lot of money, I still turn them down because we've learned we could do the same exact event for some people out in the backwoods who give us hot dogs and give us beers and give us a tip, and do the same exact equipment for a really, really rich person in the rich neighborhood. And they have the problems with everything. Yeah. So we try to stay away from those people.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the same for you over there, but we get tips. We get a lot of tips, mainly from I want to say the medium, middle. What's it called? Middle class.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is so strange that just the regular people, they're the ones who tip. They're the ones who give hot dogs, and then the rich people, see you later, and no tip. I don't care about tips, but it's just seeing the income classes who do tip versus the people who could afford to tip that never do.
Yeah.
But Randy's asking, do you rent out plastic picnic tables and umbrellas?
So when I started, we just did plastic tables. As time went by, I started purchasing wood. So now I offer two options. You could get a plastic one for a little bit less, or a wooden table for a little bit more. I do rent umbrellas with the base 9-foot umbrellas. So yeah.
Well, I know a guy, I talked to him before. I'm not going to give away his name or what city he's in, but his entire rental business is lifetime picnic tables and umbrellas. And all he does is that all day long, hundreds of them. And he doesn't even do it. He has people that go and do it. So out in your neck of the woods where it's always like not a big chance of rain, I think that would be a good idea to have some fold out picnic tables with umbrellas.
Yeah, over here. Or for the umbrellas, does he mean what kind of umbrella?
So it's going into the picnic table. So it's a picnic table with an umbrella over it.
Okay, yeah, I have umbrellas, but they stand on stand up, not through the middle of the table. But
Right.
a lot of people carry the plastic tables. All the
Right.
smaller companies going to be plastic tables.
What are your future, like, what do you want to buy? What are people calling about that you're like, I don't have yet, I should maybe buy that?
Um, Equipment wise, what do I want to buy? So I want to get into luxury rentals, luxury chairs, luxury tables. Hopefully next year. But it'd be a big jump, a big investment, and if it doesn't pay off, then we're screwed.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a market where I think it would pay off as long as you do you if you do a Facebook boost, that might help. Like when you get the chair in, take a picture of it, pay the $20.
So over here, with both, I don't get any business from Instagram. I don't get any business from Facebook
Mm,
because all the smaller competitors are on Facebook and Instagram. That's where they're getting their business, and they have like the bottom. Their prices are really, really low that I can't compete with.
right.
So yeah,
Well, I imagine that's why you want to get into luxury things, because then you'll be dealing with customers who are no longer price sensitive. They just want the good thing and they're going to be willing to pay for it.
yeah. So and also when I started charging really cheap, you take them this bounce house, they leave it super dirty. It's a lot more work. Ever since I raised my prices higher, the people that want to rent cheap, they stop calling me. You go take it to somebody, and they literally leave it just like you dropped it off.
Right. If you price yourself higher, I found the same exact thing. Price myself higher, I don't have to deal with as much crap as I did when I was a little lower. Randy's got a good question. Have you delivered to any big name celebrities?
Oh, just the YouTubers, just those. They're pretty famous. They're really famous.
Right.
Which if he wasn't on the live yet, it's FaZe Rug, Tanner Fox, and the Ace family.
That's cool. You should try to get on there and get 1 million subscribers.
I almost got so I met after that. I started messaging a bunch of YouTubers and celebrities on Instagram, see if they would read my message, but nobody opened it. The only other person that replied to me was Vitali. I don't know if you know Vitali.
I think so.
But yeah, he replied. He said, "What city am I in?" I told him San Diego, and he responded.
Right. Here we go. Tony's Lifestyle Hustles. He's been jumping into bounce houses. How do you deal with cancellations and deposits? Do you do a non-refundable deposit if they cancel you?
So I always go back to like when I started. When I started, no deposits, no signed contracts. They were canceling on me all the time because they'd find somebody cheaper.
Right.
So when I started, ever since I got inflatable office, they have to sign a contract, and I haven't had issues with cancellations. I actually don't even take deposits, and I don't have any issues with cancellations.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm scared of not doing deposits. What do you attribute your current success to? Hustling, hard work.
Yeah, besides the hard work and sometimes very little sleep because you got a lot of work. My long day has been like 19 hours, and then a few hours of sleep and back at it. So a lot of hard work, but besides that, the main thing that motivates me is for my family.
Right. Good. Do you have anyone in this business that you can go to and ask questions to, like a mentor or someone to get advice from?
I do not. Or actually, I sublease a lot of equipment from a big company. The owner, not very nice, but the ladies that work for him, sometimes they try to help me out. I've asked them in the past, how much should I charge for this, and they're really helpful. But it's very little. I can't really go to them all the time because I'm sure.
Right. So now that you have the YouTube channel, are you becoming a mentor to people? Are people asking you questions all the time?
Somewhat, not too much. Mainly on Instagram. Instagram, I get questions all the time. So yeah, on Instagram is where I get all my questions, and I tell people where to buy everything, where I get it, where it's cheaper.
Right.
I struggled a lot when getting ignored by other companies that aren't even in my area. They would just ignore my question. So I'm not like that. If somebody's gonna, I'm not scared of competition.
Right.
Even if I actually sold the bounce house tables and chairs to one of my neighbors. He only lasted because he's like, oh, this guy's doing it, must be easy money. He only lasted a few months, and I ended up buying the equipment back off of him at a cheaper price.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good. It was like a loan, and then with negative interest.
And I used the bounce house for like a year, made money, and then I sold it back for the same price. So they kind of keep their value, like
right.
So it's good.
Do you also have like popcorn machine, snow cone, candy floss, whatever you call that, cotton candy?
Yeah, so I do offer all that. I've gone through so many machines. I'd really recommend if there's anybody out there that's looking into purchasing one, is go straight for the commercial one. I can't even count how many times I've bought popcorn machines and cotton candy machines. I actually had like a big pile up, and I went to go dump them out. I had 5 cotton candy machines that little things break. The little button, the motor stops spinning, the wiring. So definitely go with the commercial stuff.
So is that basically like you went cheaper, but in the long run, you had to spend more money than just buying a good one?
I pretty much have to buy new machines every season. So right now I have all my machines are pretty much down. I'm going to be buying commercial ones. So by commercial, they all say commercial on the website, like cotton candy machines, they'll say commercial cotton candy machine for $300. But if it's not like $1,000, close to $1,000, then it's not a commercial.
Right. Everyone, I want to get into the popcorn machine thing, and yes, everyone's telling me gold medal.
I have some products from them, but the popcorn machine, if you take care of it, it should last you. But definitely transportation is a big key. You got to get some wooden boxes for them. I've never have, and I've broken a lot of.
Right. Yeah. Build a box. Carlos, do you buy the equipment made in China or US?
So I think everything's made in China for the equipment. I may be wrong, but I think maybe like 80%. So all the manufacturers I buy from, they all import from China.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of basic the way it goes. There is some companies in the US that make their own tables and chairs, and I'm not well versed in the bounce house business, so I don't know anything about that. So reviews with Daniel, he's a friend of Reyes. What type of bounce house should I start off with since I live in Buffalo, Niagara Falls? So he's basically asking because we have a shorter season and it's wetter.
What type of bouncy houses? So I follow a lot of people from from the other side of the country, and I think pretty much you can get everything that we can over here. It just doesn't rent as all year long, right? So I would say if you're starting off, just a regular bouncy houses.
Right. Would you say that water slides are good to get into first, or should you just get into a regular old bounce house, not like a combo unit or anything?
I'm gonna record this real quick to put it on my Instagram.
Okay. So I'm going to ask that question again so that you can record it. So would you say getting a combo unit is good to begin with, or just getting a regular unit, or maybe something that you can get water with as well?
So I would go with me personally. I would have stuck, if I were to start again, I'd stay with regular bouncy houses the same way I did. The big issue I had was I jumped right away and bought a big giant slide, and it sat in storage for 6 months before I got my first rental. So I definitely start off with the smaller ones, and then you could advertise that you have those other units. If you're getting requested for them, then definitely purchase them.
Right.
But that's one issue I had.
Yeah, this guy Worksman, his name is Travis. He's got bounce houses too, and he says don't get slides with pools. Is that correct? Do pools suck?
Don't get slides with pools. Okay, maybe he means like slides with pools that are attached to the unit
at the end,
because and so that way you could use it for both dry and as a water slide. So that definitely don't get a water slide with attached pools. You want to make sure they're detachable.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I already know the answer to this. You feel great about your 5-star reviews. How do you feel about your 5-star reviews, and how do you keep them up?
How do you feel about your 5-star reviews? So when I first, sorry, I spaced out. So that was really important for me because when I started, all these companies had 30 plus reviews. That was back in 2013. When I got my first review, I was excited. Got my first 8, and then just 1 year, I completely passed them, being only in business for like 2-3 years, and they've been in business for 5, 6, 7, some 8, 10 years. Felt really good once I passed them on reviews. How do I keep up with them? Is you're always giving great customer service. If you mess up, make it up to the customer. It's your fault. So definitely
Right.
make sure yours right.
Randy says there's a company out near you called Tent and Table to check out.
Daniel, check out that to one of the
Oh
guys.
no, sorry, he wasn't saying that to you. Okay, he was saying to Daniel. Sorry. Top Shelf Event Service says he wants to buy a bounce house, but he hears they're a pain in the ass. They're not really that much of a pain, but you do have to set them up that day and usually take them down that night. So I guess that's a pain.
Yeah, I've never had a problem. So what I do a lot now is since I can now, since I have employees that could help me out. So if the party ends too late, I'll just pick it up the next day if I can.
Right.
You have family time in the afternoon. So it's the weekends.
Cool. All right, so I got 3 last questions, which I asked to everyone, and you kind of answered some of them, but we'll just do them again real quick. So what are your plans for the future?
So my plans for the future are going to be getting into luxury rentals. And I was just thinking today if I should reinvest a lot of the money that I get this year. So usually, let's say I have a good month, then the next month, I have to more equipment. But right now, I got a lot of tables and chairs, more than I made a big purchase at the end of the last year. A guy sold his company, so maybe I don't have to invest that much this year, but definitely invest a little bit. But maybe it's time to start saving some money.
Nice. And if you could go back and do anything different, is there anything that you would do different?
I would definitely raise my prices a little bit sooner than I did. People, as soon as you build like a client base, if you raise it a few dollars, you won't have an issue. And the person that gives you an issue, they're most likely not gonna. So the people that ask me for discounts, like, oh, give me a discount, I'm gonna rent from you all the time, they never call you again.
Right. Yeah, they never call, even though they say they will. And your main advice for someone just starting out?
If you're just starting out, did I write this one down? No, I didn't. Didn't write anything. If you're just starting out, you gotta be on it. Put a lot of ads. Sacrifice a lot of time if you really want to make it happen. So that's something I had to do is you got to sacrifice a lot of family time and just work hard and push the bouncy houses.
Right. Along with sacrifice, you got to sacrifice that profit. You can't be taking that profit and going buying a new motorcycle.
Yeah. So a lot of people will do that. That's how I've been able to grow a lot more than other companies because, they spend their profit on luxuries. And, for the first 5 years of my business, I wouldn't even buy nice clothes for myself until this past year. Now I started spending some of the money that I get, but a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah, I make a lot of money, not gonna lie, and I still have a truck that has broken mirrors and a broken fender and all that all over it. It's not an important thing to me.
Yeah, so I'll give this example. They're the same. I make a lot more money than some of these guys that have really nice trucks. I've been, I have a dream truck. I wish I could get it, but my business comes first, and have to reinvest into that.
Yeah, and you have to. You can't be the guy who goes out every night or buys fancy things. Top Shelf Event Service. I don't know so much about bounce houses, but our market price is higher on the East Coast for bounce houses. From what I've seen on Facebook posts and stuff from the what's that called, EPA, Event Professional Alliance on Facebook. It seems like a lot of people out in California complain about really low prices, and no one in the East Coast is complaining about really low prices.
So yeah, since from the followers I have on Instagram, over there you could rent a bounce house for like $150.
Right.
I thing that you could find on the very low end over here is gonna be the lowest price range. You'll find a bouncy house for $50, $45, and it's ridiculous. I don't know how they make money off of that.
Yeah, they sell it back to you after a few months.
Yeah.
So this is the last question. How do you get reviews? Are you just like asking the customers to go over to somewhere and give you one?
So when I started, I would offer them a $5 discount, but those reviews, since they don't have an account on Yelp, they'll get. So I have like 60 that are not into that don't count. They'll put reviews that are not ended. So I have about 60 of those. So I should have over 200 reviews, but a lot of them aren't recommended. So now I send them an email, tell them thank you, and I tell them I'd really appreciate it if they could take the time to give us a review. I don't offer them discounts anymore to give us a review because most of the reviews come from them, this type of service you give.
Right. Good. Well, it was great having you on. Say for the people viewing again what your YouTube channel is and your Instagram. I do have it in the description, but go ahead.
Yeah, so follow me on Instagram. I post a lot. I use it a lot for like entertainment. Try to post some funny stuff. So it's alianas.party.rentals, and then the YouTube is Alianas Rental Vlog. So I do a little bit different type of videos that you do. I try to do like vlogs.
Right.
Stuff.
Yeah, sounds good. Oh wait, hold on. I have one more big question, and then we'll be done. What sort of efficiency tools do you use to make your day just easier or faster, or be able to fit in more jobs, or just get home earlier?
So I'm gonna go with if you could afford to get a truck with a lift gate, that should be number one. When I started, I would literally put in a 12, 14-hour day, and the next morning I'd feel like I got beat up, like my whole body would ache, and that's from carrying chairs down from the truck onto the dolly, take them to the customer. On the pickup, you do the same thing. Now that I have a lift gate, they're on wheels, lower them down, and just wheel. Have to go, not no back breaking work there. So a dolly, lift gate, if you could get one, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's what I tell everyone: lift gate and put everything on wheels. It'll save time, and saving time allows you to do 1 more, 2 more jobs in the day, or get home earlier. But awesome. Thanks for being on, and everyone go check out Raul's channel and check out his Instagram. He does do a lot more on Instagram than I do. I'm not very good at Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram's pretty cool. I try to make it entertaining, so
good.
Check it out.
All right. Well, thanks everyone.